Get ready for the biggest stories hitting the screen right now. We start with the Romanian new wave linchpin, Christian Mungiu, returning with Fjord, a film that dives headfirst into the moral maze of the Norwegian child services system. This is a dour, misfired moral drama starring Sebastian Stan and Renate Riensvee, as they navigate a situation where lead agent Gunda, played by Ellen Dorrit Peterson, enters the fray, and you will have to wonder if this is a story about oppression or just a complete breakdown of parental dynamics. Next up, we take a breath of fresh air in how independent film distribution is finding its footing. And finally, we turn to the surreal and the philosophical. Nicolas Winding Refn returns to cinema with Her Private Hell, a trippy return that was surprisingly excluded from the official competition. This film plunges us into a surreal, futuristic Japanese city, exploring themes of fame and obsession, and asks you to pick a side in a world of sensory triggers and wild performances. Don't miss the full breakdown of these major film moments. Stay with us. Cannes Film Festival spotlighted a new film titled Fjord, directed by Christian Mungiu, which is described as a dour, misfired moral drama. The film stars Sebastian Stan, Renate Riensvee, and Ellen Dorrit Peterson. Mungiu is noted for his previous work, and this latest offering is characterized as a big, beautiful bomb that focuses on the conflict between a Christian conservative couple and the Norwegian child services system. The narrative follows Mihai and Lisbeth Georgiou, Stan and Riensvee, who live a quiet life on the Norwegian coast with 5 children. The parents adhere to a relatively orthodox Christian belief, emphasizing work, prayer, and contemplation over typical teenage pursuits. The tension escalates when the child services team intervenes after noticing bruises on their eldest daughter, Elia. Lead agent Gunda, played by Ellen Dorrit Peterson, is portrayed as an aggressive figure, and Mungiu chooses to frame the situation by suggesting the family is not truly deserving of the charges. The review suggests the film struggles to sustain serious engagement, noting a lack of credibility in some elements, such as the unexplained passivity of the children and the unsubstantiated grudge held by Gunda. Stan and Riensvee are critiqued for delivering emotionally neutral performances, which the reviewer felt lacked the necessary fire and parental dynamism required for the subject matter. The overall impression is that the film forces viewers to question the director's approach and the context of the alleged oppression. Critics have responded positively to Mungiu's return, with various publications praising his work, including awarding him a Palme d'Or. The film is positioned as a sly, wry, and illuminating piece of cinema, prompting questions about the state of Scandinavian rural life and Mungiu's future in the country. The Korean sci-fi monster film, Hope, has made a significant impact at the Cannes Film Festival, leaving attendees both awed and bewildered. Director Hong-jin's ambitious production is positioned as a departure from typical action fare, blending intense action with profound thematic depth. The film garnered significant attention at the 79th International Film Festival in Cannes, France. The premiere event featured a large cast, including director Hong-jin, Hwang Youngmin, Michael Fassbender, Alicia Vikander, Taylor Russell, Hoi-yin, and Zo In-sung. Hong-jin, known for his genre mastery, was visibly nervous before the premiere, describing the process as nerve-wracking. Hope is described as one of the most expensive Korean films ever made, featuring a runtime of 2 hours and 40 minutes that evolves from a seemingly trivial premise, the mysteriously scarred carcass of a dead bull, into a cosmically grand, gonzo science fiction epic. The narrative follows police chief Hwang-Youngmin, whose investigation into the bull attack spirals into a frantic chase through the Korean demilitarized zone, joined by another officer, and a cousin pursuing separate clues in the forest. A major element of the film introduces extraterrestrial characters played by Michael Fassbender and Alicia Vikander, whom Na incorporated to elevate the story's scope. Critics have reacted strongly to the film's style. Variety's Jessica Keong praised it as hilarious, unwieldy, overlong, and featuring some of the most breathtakingly elegant action movie-making of this or any year. Director Na explained the thematic core of the movie, emphasizing that the genre shifts from monster movie to sci-fi were driven by his exploration of xenophobia and immigrant issues. "I started off with a focus on xenophobia and immigrant problems," Na stated. "I think it's that conflict in perspective or misunderstanding that creates these collisions. That's what I wanted to talk about." Regarding future projects, Na confirmed that a sequel centered on Fassbender and Vikander's extraterrestrial characters has been written. The Korean stars, particularly Hwang-Youngmin, were highlighted as a major draw, with actor Hwang expressing confidence in the director's vision. "Because it's Na Hong-jin, nothing else," Hwang commented. The film is scheduled for release in the US later this year via Neon. The Cannes film market concluded with a mixed picture, characterized by high-value individual deals, but a general sense of stagnation, signaling a significant transition within the independent film industry. While major acquisitions secured significant figures, the overall atmosphere suggested that the traditional model sustaining the indie ecosystem is fraying. Key transactions included A24 securing 8 figures for the world rights to Jordan Firstman's debut feature, Club Kid, a film that garnered considerable buzz at the festival. Additionally, Amazon inked a major package sale by acquiring most international rights to the psychological thriller Pumping Black, starring Jonathan Bailey and Natalie Portman. Despite these marquee deals, the market struggled to close decisively. Industry insiders noted that most significant deal-making occurred after the event, indicating that buyers were often too preoccupied or unwilling to commit large sums up front, especially for projects lacking a clear path to commercial success. This reflects a deeper structural shift. The traditional pay-one television window, which previously allowed distributors to back films pre-production, has been largely supplanted by streaming platforms negotiating their own terms. Producers are consequently shifting strategies, relying more heavily on equity financing and soft money. This has resulted in a buyer's market characterized by a scarcity of buyers willing to make substantial initial commitments. However, the report suggests that the audience for independent film remains robust, simply waiting to be engaged through new channels. Several emerging models are proving effective in reaching these audiences. Community-focused distribution, exemplified by Watermelon Pictures, leverages platforms like WhatsApp groups to connect with underserved audiences, leading to notable Oscar shortlists. Similarly, faith-based distributors, such as Angel Studios, are scaling rapidly by building direct connections with their fan bases, demonstrated by the success of series like The Chosen. This trend aligns with the rise of online creators, where social media fluency is integral to a film's success, as seen with Jordan Firstman and YouTube influencers. Furthermore, a re-release model is gaining traction, with studios utilizing restored classics and new 4K versions to drive theatrical interest. Ultimately, while the traditional deal-making machinery at Cannes may be sputtering, the industry is adapting. The consensus emerging is that the audience is not gone. They are simply waiting to be reached through diverse avenues, whether through digital communities, faith networks, or online engagement. The reinvention of distribution is underway. Nicolas Winding Refn has made a highly anticipated return to cinema with his film Her Private Hell, marking his first project since 2016's Neon Demon and his first feature since a 3-year hiatus due to a serious heart condition. The film, which was notably excluded from the official competition at the Cannes Film Festival in favor of more conventional fare, is being hailed by some as a glimpse into the future of filmmaking, contrasting sharply with recent trends dominated by established intellectual property and AI recreations. The film draws stylistic parallels to Bai Gan's Resurrection, sharing an awake dream quality, and exhibits artistic influences reminiscent of ballet. A crucial element of the film is Pino Donaggio's phenomenal score, which provides an emotional depth that echoes the styles of early Silence, Powell and Pressburger, and experimental filmmakers like Kenneth Anger. Narratively, Her Private Hell is set in a surreal, futuristic Japanese city. At its core, the story follows Sophie Thatcher, who is preparing to film with a younger influencer named Hunter, Christine Froseth, who is consumed by fame and an obsession with Elle. The dynamic between them mirrors the complex, symbiotic relationship explored in Ingmar Bergman's Persona. Complications arise with the introduction of Dominique, Elle's former lover and her father's new wife. The plot features a seemingly concrete inciting incident, a murder and a defenestration, that loosely corresponds to the myth of the Leather Man. The narrative then shifts to a scene resembling a space opera, referencing Refn's past interest in remaking Barbarella. Further intrigue is added by the arrival of Private K, Charles Melton, an American GI seeking justice for mistreated women, whose connection to the main plot remains ambiguous, hinting at themes of summoned destiny. The film's genius lies in its deliberate ambiguity. Refn employs a visual ASMR approach, offering sensory triggers and associations rather than concrete plot resolutions, encouraging audiences to interpret the meaning. Critics acknowledge the film's self-aware pretension, positioning it as a necessary counterpoint to contemporary cinematic trends where critical praise is increasingly directed towards seemingly disparate choices. Her Private Hell ultimately demands an active engagement from the viewer, positioning it as a polarizing work that compels audiences to choose a side.